Go ahead, honourable member.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Bill 25, the Oil Sands Emissions Limitation Act. Mr. Fraser, to move that the Bill 25 Oil Sands Emissions Limit Act be amended by adding the following after Section 2, the annual report. Section 2-1, or 2.1. Commencing 1 year after the coming into force of this Act, the Minister shall, as soon as practicable, after December 31st each year, prepare and make publicly available an annual report which contains A. The reduction expressed in megatons from the previous calendar year in upgrading emissions and greenhouse gas emissions. B. The estimated amount of greenhouse gas emissions expressed in megatons that will be produced in the first year of commercial operation by oil sands sites approved under the Oil Sands Conservation Act in the year for which the annual report is made. C. The amount of funding provided by the Government of Alberta for research or developments to reduce upgrading emissions and greenhouse gas emissions for the year for which the annual report is made. D. The amount expressed in megatons of the greenhouse gas emissions for each type of greenhouse gas emission excluded under Section 2-2 for the year of which the annual report is made. Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise today to speak about an amendment on Bill 25, the Oil Sands Emissions Limit Act. We'd like to see this bill amended to include the annual reporting mechanism. As we've certainly noted in this House, we in the PC Caucus do not believe that this bill has been thought through enough. We believe that there are some serious issues that have not been addressed by this government, and that there are going to be real consequences for the prosperity and everyday lives of Albertans. So we're not generally supportive of this bill. That being said, we do believe that there are some changes to this bill that this government should absolutely be considering. And if the government is committed to barreling ahead on legislation like this, then we hope that they will at least allow members of this House to provide their input in trying to improve this piece of legislation. The amendments we are proposing today is along those lines, and an amendment that tries to at least allow for measures with this government and Albertans that can actually gauge the success of this bill. That's why we are proposing that the government release a progress report of sorts at the end of each year. This report is going to contain information like how much progress has actually been made in reducing upgrading emissions. We're also looking to see how much greenhouse gas is being produced by facilities approved under the Oil Sands Conservation Act. This will give us some understanding whether or not this bill is accomplishing its stated goal. Which information I'd hope the government would like to have, and information that I'd hope they'd be willing to share with Albertans. We would also like to see this report detail how much money is coming from the government in terms of supporting research and development on emissions reductions. I think it's important that we can demonstrate to Albertans that we are delivering value for their tax dollars, and it's hard to know whether or not that kind of investment is worthwhile if we don't have the information on spending in one consolidated location. Lastly, we'd like to see this report include a summary detailed the amounts of various emissions detailed in the bill. Again, this is important information when we're making decisions on the effectiveness of the Act. We want to measure where exactly we are seeing reductions or perhaps where we're seeing increases so we can measure whether or not we are making progress or simply shifting emissions between different categories. So as you can see, this is a report card of sorts, the kind of amendment that aims to increase accountability and transparency in government programs. So hopefully, if the government is being honest about their desire to increase transparency, they will have no problem with this amendment, and I look forward to their thunderous support of what really is just a common sense improvement to the legislation. Thank you. Here, here.